I guess it's alright.
Who's that? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that the guy that was intently staring at you would have some relation to you. Oh, excuse me. Well, who is he? A pirate! You don't mean... Wow!
So, what is piracy? In technical terms, piracy is the unauthorized use or reproduction of patented or copyrighted material. But exactly how did it get its start? Well, way back in the 20s, radio stations would sometimes play the material without an artist's consent. Also, pirate radios did exist in the 60s, where the pirates in question decided to pay respect to the namesake and would go out on boats to broadcast illegal and unlicensed music. Then, of course, there was also vinyl. But how was it pirated? No, actually, at first, it required a reel-to-reel machine which was hooked up to the preamp and the receiver, and was just terribly complicated. But then, there came the cassette, and piracy was never the same again. There were two ways to pirate music with the cassette. A, you could have a portable tape recorder and record the sound directly from the speakers, but background noise would also be recorded onto the tape. There was also option B, in which you would buy a cassette/turntable combo, where the cassette deck was directly hooked up to the turntable. However, piracy with cassettes was never a big problem, as they were mostly used for making mixtapes for special friends. Okay, just in case you don't get it, it's a joke, okay? You're supposed to laugh now, okay? Got it? Got it? Piracy then took a great leap when CDs were invented, as you could very easily import a CD onto a computer and then burn the MP3 files off from the CD onto a blank disc. This made it much easier to share music. However, one of the biggest episodes of piracy being confronted in the mainstream was the whole Napster takedown. But what was Napster? Well, Napster was a file sharing service that was created by Sean Fanning, John Fanning, and Sean Parker. But mostly Sean Fanning. Napster was a peer-to-peer service and allowed any two users to trade files. In Napster's case, it was song files. This seemed like a good idea at first, but then, artists, including Metallica, were like,
What? You didn't record this, boss? What?
This led to the Recording Industry Association of America suing Napster on December 7th, 1999. While the intent was to shut down the service, the lawsuit only made it more popular, especially among the realm of poor college kids. However, Napster eventually did go bankrupt, but the fines that they owed did not just disappear, and the paying of these debts was placed on Bertelsmann, a German media company who had loaned the company $85 million.
Joseph, wir müssen diese Platten für $1 Million zahlen. Nein!
Unfortunately, yeah, and the company ended up paying millions to Warner, EMI, and Universal. The case was closed in August of 2007, when Bertelsmann paid $130 million to the National Music Publishers Association.
Aua! Mein Knie!
Despite this, Napster ended up relaunching as a music streaming service, and was quickly bought by Rhapsody, a subsidiary of Best Buy, on December 1st, 2011. I guess you could say that this wrapped up well in the end.
Oh my goodness, I am so funny! pirate that?
No!
Oh.
Alright, to start, I'm going to show some statistics that are way too high. First of all, there has been a $12.5 billion loss to the economy, 70,000 lost jobs, and $2 billion lost in American wages.
70,000? Isn't that the capacity of the stadium?
Why, yes it is. This is how many people who have been put out of work because of piracy. $12.5 billion? Couldn't you buy a Freedom Tower with that? No. It's enough to buy 3. And have 1.1 billion left over. However, the rate of music piracy is going down. In 2011, 70% of people were okay with piracy, 22% of all internet bandwidth was used to pirate things, 98.8% of the things shared on peer-to-peer sharing sites was copyrighted, and 91% of the material on Cyberlockers, which I'll get to explain later, was copyrighted. In 2012, 26% less music was pirated, which was due almost entirely in part to streaming sites such as Spotify. Also, there is the fact that 40% of the people who were pirates in 2011 said,
I just don't feel it anymore.
However, with the rise of the digital download, the physical sale is becoming way less common. This is mostly with CDs though, as vinyl sales are on the rise, with 3.2 million albums being bought in 2012. So, remember the Cyberlocker things I mentioned earlier? Well, now I'm actually going to explain them. Cyberlockers are basically torrent sites. But what's a torrent? Well, a torrent, created by BitTorrent, is an internet file that allows large chunks of data to be shared easily. The computer downloads small chunks of the file from different locations at once. The problem with this is that most torrents are for copyrighted material. But how have these sites not been taken down? Well, there were 3 major sites for torrents. However, as of January 19, 2012, there are only 2. Mega Upload, the website in question, was taken down in the state. However, exactly a year later, it was relaunched under the name Mega. So what was accomplished exactly? Well, not much. Fingers are even being pointed at Google, specifically by the British phonographic industry. Basically, the BPI is telling Google to take down all the piracy links, but Google states that they have already taken down over 2 million links and they cannot change their search algorithm. The other reason for these accusations is because of YouTube. 1, for the fact that entire albums are put up on the service, and 2, there are many YouTube to MP3 converters, so you can take the full album and pirate it. As a result of piracy, the music industry as a whole has become riskier. Many artists don't get published, and a greater importance is placed on touring. An example of what a mess this industry is can be seen in the independent music website Bandcamp, which allows artists to put up their own music. And then set the price for what they think people should pay. The sad thing is, many just have their music, which they slaved over, as pay what you want or free.
Music is over. We're all gonna die.
When your music is pirated, you lose all your money. When you lose all your money, you lose all your fame. When you lose all your fame, your label drops you. When your label drops you, you turn to indie music. When you turn to indie music, you gain a small following. When you gain a small following, people tell their friends about you. When people tell their friends about you, you get your fame back. When you get your fame back, your old label picks you back up. When your old label picks you back up, you gain confidence. When you gain confidence, you insult Radiohead. When you insult Radiohead, Pitchfork gives you a bad review. When Pitchfork gives you a bad review, you instantaneously lose all your fans. When you instantaneously lose all your fans, you become depressed. And when you become depressed, you take Cymbalta. When you take Cymbalta, you realize that you're ripping off your friend's gifted video. Don't rip off your friend's gifted video. Stop piracy. So far, I've been making piracy out to be a pretty economically smart idea, aside from the moral right and wrong.
Yeah! Piracy!
However, it is not just a moral decision, as there are also many penalties and punishments that come with this. Recently, the Center for Copyright Infringement has partnered with the major companies AT&T, Verizon, Comcast, Time Warner, and Cablevision for a new way to combat piracy called Mark Monitor. Basically, the CCI tracks people's IP addresses to see if they've been pirating or not. If they have, then they will notify you with a series of 6 emails. If you refuse to stop pirating, then around the 5th email, your internet speeds can be slowed and you can be redirected to different pages. However, there are some flaws with this, the first being that tracking a person's IP address is not a good way of seeing what they actually do on the internet. Then, there's the actual email, which consists of a choice between a small $5,000 fine or entering your name. It basically asks the pirate to destroy their reputation and take the conflict to court.
Well, there goes my dignity. Let's take it to court!
Or pay a $5,000 fine to stay anonymous, even though the reason that the person is probably pirating is because of lack of money.
But does pirating even save money? Well, not in Jamie Thomas Rassett's case, who was fined $1.5 million. These charges were eventually brought down to $220,000, but still, that's $9,250 per song. Then, there was Joel Tenenbaum, who downloaded 30 songs and was fined an impressive $675,000. These types of cases aren't as common anymore. However, many individualized, smaller cases, even as many as 5,000 at a time, are much more common. Since 2010, 220,000 people have been charged like this. I guess you could say that piracy is strictly banned. Oh, no, I'm so sorry. No, just cut to the transit. I'm so.
So, Joseph and me,
Joseph and Ish!
Joseph and I are going to be playing a song, and it's going to be not for piracy. 1, 2, drive, go! Please stop pirating. That's it. That's good. We're done. Bye. All this time I've been talking about how I feel about piracy, but really I should be talking about how the people who make the music feel. Well, quite well, surprisingly. Among the artists who are okay with it are Jack White with the White Stripes, and his 5,000 other side projects, and Ed O'Brien of Radiohead, although the whole band is fairly okay with piracy. The only reason that these artists are okay with piracy is for the fact that they hope that the pirate will eventually go and buy a physical copy, but sometimes that doesn't happen. In an article, Robin Pecknold of Fleet Foxes personally thanked pirates for helping to make them popular. However, there are also many artists who are against piracy. And do I really have to explain why? No? Well, I'll take this time to explain something that is far more important, and that is Thom Yorke.
Thom Yorke. Wow. How brilliant's that?
He's in the Radioheads, you say?
He's in the Radioheads, yes.
But on a more serious note, Thom Yorke and his aforementioned Radioheads released their 2007 album, In Rainbows, in a very odd manner. At first, it was only available online. However, that wasn't the weird part, as it was also pay what you want. By this time in their career, Radiohead was a fairly major band, and this was almost unheard of. Even with the band practically handing everyone a free album, people still pirated it. Why, you might ask? Well, truthfully, I have no idea myself.
And,
Alright. I don't have anything in this section. Next. So as I'm sitting here typing this giant script, I keep wondering how I should end it.
I'm probably going to just get a B on this anyways. The main reason being that after around the 10-minute mark, everyone will die bored. There's two sides of the story, one being that it exposes artists and probably ends up indirectly benefiting the artist.
However, there's also the fact that you're killing the music industry and the economy. And when you're helping artists by pirating, you're killing a bunch of others. And I mean, I've never pirated before, but it must make you feel like a terrible person after you do. The good thing is, with all digital sales, streaming sites, new punishments, and spyware, piracy is dying. So basically, if you're a pirate, you're evil and you should feel bad about yourself.
But if you don't pirate, you can go home, or go downstairs, or go upstairs, or whatever, and get some ice cream, or be like Justin Timberlake and get some fake ice cream, and you need to eat it, cause I love you. I'm done.